Do you color by the book? Do you collect lists of pretty marker blends and pencil combinations? Today, we're talking about color recipes and how standard blending combinations can limit your artistry. Nobody buys just one or two Copic markers. From the very beginning, when you first start researching Copics and Copic blending technique, it doesn't take long to figure out that these markers work best in combination. Blending duos, blending trios, and even quads. So we tend to purchase markers in 3s and 4s, and we always think about them in combination rather than standalone colors. And this Copic combination concept has spread to coloring in general. So people now think of pencils in blending combinations. It's all about the blends. The internet is full of blending recipes. Use these 3 markers to color a pumpkin. Use these 5 markers to color blonde hair. Use this recipe for clouds and this one for mermaid tails. And here's a recipe that will give you the perfect poppy. Color recipes are very helpful, especially for beginners. They take a lot of the guesswork out of coloring by giving you a tested combination that looks good and the markers work good together. But just like a pair of water wings, at a certain point, you have to take off the flotation aids in order to learn how to swim. Color recipes are helpful, but eventually they start to get in the way, preventing you from becoming the artist that you were meant to be. Part of the problem is that color recipes are just so darned convenient. No matter what you want to color, the perfect recipe is just a Google away. That leads to a kind of almost, a mental laziness. Why spend time thinking about the color of a hydrangea when someone else has done that thinking for you? Recipes are comfortable, and that works until it doesn't. When you want to start coloring with realism, your dependence upon recipes will get in the way. Artists who draw and paint with realism, they've learned how to become very keen observers. They're constantly looking and evaluating the colors that they see in real life, in their subjects, in their models, and in their reference photos. Color combinations that look really pretty on a swatch, they don't always look very real. These grapes, they're more than just a light, medium, and dark violet. And where is the blending combination for the little grapes here that are kind of a warm violet that slowly morphs into a celadon green? Where would we find the recipe for this ink? And a search for Copic Hydrangea recipes gives us one blue recipe after another. Nothing comes even close to what we're seeing here. So when your first response to coloring something new is to search Pinterest for the tried and tested blending combinations, you limit your potential as an artist. You're limiting yourself to the list of colors that have already been tried, whether they look real or not. Seeing color for what it really is, that's a skill that requires practice. There are no shortcuts to finding true and accurate color. Reliance on color recipes hurts your ability to see real color and to color with realism. The other problem with using color recipes is that you surrender your unique voice. When you fall back on someone else's interpretation of a hydrangea, you're borrowing that person's vision. You and I can look at the same flower and see completely different colors. You might see more pink, I might see more blue. Different eyes, different brains, different perspectives. No two people see things the same exact way. One of the reasons why art is so interesting and so very meaningful is because it's a chance to see the world through someone else's eyes. We can't crawl into each other's brains, but when I view your coloring and when you see mine, it's a chance to share each other's thoughts and vision. How you see things is important. It's valuable. Nobody else can show us the things that make you unique and special. Why would you hide your voice underneath someone else's color recipe? So what's the solution? How do you break the recipe habit? How do you learn to express yourself through color? For starters, have faith in yourself. Choosing your own colors for projects is not impossible. It's not even all that hard. All it takes is a little confidence and some practice. Anyone can do it. If you've got eyes to see and a brain to think, then you've got all the tools you need. You can learn to do this. Don't tell yourself otherwise. Don't talk yourself out of doing what we all know you can do. The second thing is to play with your markers and play with your colored pencils. All of the starter kits, all the tutorials, and the color combination charts, they give you the false impression that this marker will only blend with that marker and this pencil only looks good with this other pencil, which is silly. Ink is a liquid, right? If you were to pour any two Copic inks into a cup, they would blend. It doesn't matter what the colors are. If the two inks are wet, they are going to blend. You can blend blue with brown, you can blend orange with green, you can blend pink with black if you want to. If you can do it in a cup, there's a way to do it on paper. And blending pencils is even easier. Nothing bad happens when you layer a red pencil over green pencil or purple over gray. Now, I'm not saying that every combination that you try is going to look gorgeous. I'm just pointing out that there are no rules and there are no limitations on blending. All colors can blend, some easier than others, some prettier than others, but they all blend. When I see the ink in the bottle here, I see magenta and deep purple. I don't need someone else to test that combination for me. I've got the markers sitting right here. All I need to do is try it out and then practice how to make it look pretty. Remember when I said that artists are keen observers? Looking around, looking at the colors in real life, that helps you find the colors that are going to look beautiful together. So don't worry about inventing new color combinations. Use your powers of observation. Use your photo references and steal the colors that you see in the world around you. Look at all these blending combinations. Pink into blue, blue into purple, blue into green, pink into green, violet into green. All of these blending combinations are free for the taking. They're pre-tested by Mother Nature, and they sure do look a lot more real than half of the Copic blue recipes that you've pinned or printed. Find 2 or 3 colors that you see in the photo reference and experiment with them until you find the way that they blend best together. Try different orders. Use the light color first, then try the dark color first. Maybe you need a transition marker in the middle to help the colors join smoothly together. Unless you're brand new to marker blending, unless you've never touched a pencil before, you know more about how to blend than you give yourself credit for. If you can blend someone else's combinations together, you can certainly try your own. My last bit of advice for creating your own color blends is that you've got to be willing to fail. Fear of failure is what keeps a lot of people from trying a lot of things. But we're talking about coloring here. What's the worst that can happen? If your RV marker doesn't look great next to the V marker that you've selected, it's not going to explode. Choose a new violet and try that one instead. Your children and your children's children will not be cursed with extra fingers or frizzy hair if you have to try a few green combinations before you find one that you like. It's just ink. It's just paper. They're just pencils. And it's only a little bit of time. But it's not wasted effort. When you fail, you learn. I picked up my first colored pencil in 1985, and I'm still learning more about them every day. I've been using markers for art off and on since about 1990. I can use them for another 40 years and still not master them. I try things and they don't work, so I try again. And I think back to the things that didn't work last week, and I try not to make those mistakes again. There's not a single project where I don't use an eraser. And there's not a day that goes by when I don't wish that someone would invent a Copic eraser. Oh man, I would use the heck out of a real marker eraser. Art is like that. Make a mistake, fix it and move on until you make the next mistake, and then fix that one. But if you sit and you wait for someone else to invent the blending combination that you need to color the colors that you see, well, that's not art. That's coloring someone else's art. Blending combinations and color recipes. They're good for beginners and fun, casual coloring. But if you're looking to learn and grow and to color with realism or expressive artistry, you can't keep hiding your voice. Color is part of your voice. Show us your heart. Show us your art. Share with us the colors of your world.